Good morning. Welcome back to Gillian at Mystic Healing Therapies. So what I'm going to talk about today is the Ascension process. Lots of people have been talking about this these last few years. There's a lot of confusion around it. Quite often people say to me, what does this mean? What does 3D mean? What does 5D mean? So I'm just going to share my thoughts on that really, and see if I can help anyone with their understanding of it. So I believe that each human being has got an individual energy frequency, so we all vibrate energetically at a different level, and it's all extremely unique to each of us. So we've all got this frequency that is a vibrational level. Your vibrational level will depend on many things really, but to put it simply, it can be the more evolved you are of a soul, the more open you are, the more open-hearted you are, the higher your vibration's likely to be. So if you think good thoughts, you care for others, you're compassionate, you look after nature, that sort of thing, you're likely to be on a higher vibration than if you're angry, jealous, bitter and want to harm others. That would keep you in a lower vibration. So since the cosmic moment in 2012, we've been moving towards this ascension process, and we're all part of it. Whether you're consciously moving through the ascension process or not, we're all on board. So I'll just share what my guides showed me once when I was saying, you know, it looks like about a year ago I was struggling with the way the world was looking and all these restrictions and lockdowns and forced mandates and things like that. I was really struggling with it. So I tuned into my higher self, asked my guides, what's going on here? So what they showed me is a sunrise. So I was sitting watching, in my mind's eye by the way, the sun just coming up over the horizon in the morning, and it just slowly and gracefully made its way across the sky, came up from the horizon and went into high in the sky. And what my guide said is, the ascension process has already started. You know, the dawn is upon us, the sun is rising. So it doesn't matter what you see with your physical eye, this ascension process is happening. And it doesn't matter what people try to do to stop the ascension, it's a given, it's set in stone, the sun is rising. And they said to me, have you ever seen the sun rise up from the horizon, think, oh no, somebody's told us we can't do this, and it goes back down onto the horizon? That just doesn't happen. That's not in the natural law. So we are moving towards ascension, come what may. It doesn't matter what you see in the media, it doesn't matter what. We're moving towards this fifth dimensional, brighter, better world. So what is 3D, what is 4D, what is 5D? Let me just give a quick account of my thoughts. Obviously, you know, I'm not saying that I am the knowledge of this, but these are just my thoughts. If this resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, find some other information that resonates with you. Okay, so for the last thousands of years, we've been living in three-dimensional space and energy, so 3D matrix really. So, you know, it's been very much on our survival. We've just been trying to get a living, we've been earning to keep ourselves, toiling on with our jobs. If we're fortunate, we get a holiday every year, and really most of our thinking process has just been our daily lives. So that's the 3D, very much tied to the matrix, very much tied to the system, just getting on and trying to survive, but without really too much thought of spirituality. Now, personally, I think spirituality and religion are two different things, very different things. So what I'm talking about now is that inner sense of yourself, connecting with your higher self, connecting to your core spirituality. That's what I mean by spirituality. So what is 5D then? And then I'll come on to 4D in a minute. So 5D is where we're moving to. So there's no doubt that sun's rising and we're on our way to 5D. So 5D will be a world where each and every one of us are naturally much more connected spiritual phenomena. We'll be open to things like natural healing methods. We'll be open to looking at energy fields, clearing energy fields, using all these esoteric type of things to help us in our daily life. For thousands of years or hundreds of years since the Spanish Inquisition, we've been taught, well before that, but this is a good example of it, we've been taught that it's dangerous, it's bad, don't do it, it's weird. You know, anyone admitting to be connected to their spiritual self has been called weird and stay away from them. They're a nut job type of thing. So when we get to the 5D world, naturally everyone will be connecting with the higher selves on a daily basis. You know, we'll be connecting with nature, we'll be talking to animals, we'll be just naturally more connected to other dimensions. So I'm not going to go into this now, but you know, we've got a journey ahead of us which I think is wonderful and magical, and the point of me doing these videos is to try to help people along the process of that. So that's the 5D life, where we come from the heart-centered. So the 3D life, we've been ego-centered, we've been bothered what people think, we've been behaving in ways just to suit other people's opinions rather than suit a heart-centered space. When we get to 5D, we'll be acting on our own inner intuition, and we'll be behaving in ways that are relevant and feel right for our hearts, not just because somebody's telling us to behave like that. So as well, people say, well, what's 4D then? Well, why are we going from 3D to 5D? Where does 4D come into it? Well, 3D is when we're just getting on with life. We've not really thought about anything spiritual or another way of looking at it. We just do as we're told, basically. If a powerful organisation tells us to do something, we just accept it and do it without any kind of question. 4D, on the other hand, is where we might still be living in this toiling, you know, trying to make a living, but if we're told to do something, we're not necessarily, it's not resonating with us, so our eyes are starting to open and we can see, hang on a minute, that's not really, that doesn't feel right. But we've not taken that leap to say, I'm not doing that, I'm in my 5D space. But you can still see that there's something not right in your heart. You can feel it's not right, but you've not quite stepped into the 5th dimension. So you might be open to spiritual phenomena, but it just still feels a bit weird. So it's like a bridge, really. I see 3D on one side, 4D is the temporary bridge, and 5D is where we're heading to. So they are just my thoughts really on 3D, 4D, 5D and Ascension. But you know, we're in for such a beautiful time. It might look like, you know, the financial systems might crash, this might happen, that might happen. But essentially, it's up to us how we navigate it to the 5D. We're going there, that's the destination, but it's where we focus our attention as to how bumpy or how smooth the ride is. If we focus on, oh, that's terrible, that's awful, this is happening, that's happening, how awful's that, that's going to keep our energy low and it's going to slow us down in terms of the ascension. However, if we think, okay, that was the old, but we've got a golden new future, what can I do to build the future? Because we can actually create our own futures with our own thinking patterns. If we're always looking at the negative, we'll get the negative. We attract what we are putting our attention on. We manifest what we're putting our attention on. So during these times of change and possible upheaval, the thing that we need to do to make that transition smoother and to get to 5D in a much smoother transition is to focus our attention wholeheartedly on building this new world, creating your own world, what you want, stepping into your sense of responsibility, stepping into your sense of personal power. And that's another thing just quickly to mention about the 3D. The 3D is about looking to somebody to tell you what to do, looking for others to fix your problems. I've got this problem, oh, but that's great because the government can fix it, or that's great because that corporation can fix it. Whereas in 5D, we look at, if we get a difficulty, then we feel responsible to try to fix it ourselves, and we're not looking for external people to fix the problem. All right, so that's 10 minutes. I'm sure you're fed up of listening to me right now. So I'll say goodbye because it's about -2 here, as you can probably see, and I'm getting cold. So I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.